What's up guys, my name's Kyle. This is High Ground by Nightfall. We came out to this beautiful, awesome camping spot. There's a bunch of you who have been asking me to tell you a bit more about the build here, so I thought I would break it down for you. So first of all, this truck, we call it Nightfall. High Ground by Nightfall. High Ground's what we're seeking out on the rallies. By Nightfall, the truck. If you're wondering, there you go. Let's get into it. What is gone into this truck? Nightfall is a 2023 Jeep Gladiator. It is an eco diesel. We got it from White Rock Dodge. Shout out to Kevin and Ashish for hooking us up. If you're looking for a Jeep, give them a shout. The first thing I did is I took it to Epic Expedition Outfitters. I got it lifted. I got new tires. We got the Nito Trail Grapplers. They're sort of a medium duty tire, somewhere between the Ridge Grappler and the Mud Grappler. Great in the mud, great off-road, but also at the same time, not a lot of noise on the highway. Next, we got it lifted with Falcon 3.5-inch adjustable shocks. These shocks are adjustable and they're pretty heavy duty. The guys swear by them for the Canadian winters. Next, we've got TerraFlex lift and suspension leveling. We've got the HD TerraFlex springs in the back. I'm thinking about upgrading to the Dobinson springs. What I hear from a lot of the guys in South Africa and Australia is that the Dobinsons are good for something like 1,600 pounds. TerraFlex, not so much. So thinking about making some adjustments, at least in the back, but you can see it sits pretty good despite having the AluCab. Now that AluCab is something I got installed in Washington by Mule Expedition Outfitters. As you can see, it's not a slide-in camper even though it looks like it. It's actually installed right on top of the truck bed. It's a truck topper. And then we Sikaflex it in so no dust gets in the cab. It pops up so that you can sleep up top, but we also can fold away the bed. And that allows us to stand up in the back of the AluCab, get dressed, treat it as living space. All right, so now let's get on with the bumpers. What we have here is a JCR off-road Mauler bumper with the Stinger, and we have a 12,000 pound worn Vector Evo winch on the front. We've also got this pretty sweet Cascadia 4x4 flip up plate for the winch, which I dig, makes it super easy to get to the winch. Looking up top there, you can see we've got 400 watts of solar power sitting on top of the AluCab. It's evenly displaced with the load bars, so I can still put stuff on the load bars if I need to, although that will cover the solar. Okay, speaking of solar, in the back of this, which will be a little hard to show you based on how dark it is, but we'll get to that in a minute. In the back, we've got 400 watts of storage, DCS batteries, lithium phosphate, and that allows us to essentially run our Starlink 24/7 if we want to. If I pull up the RedArc Red Vision Manager system right now, which I can look at on my phone, it's gonna say we have something like 28 days. And with 28 days of power, I can basically be out here off-grid all the time. So for me, I work in tech, build tech companies. Obviously, I have camera gear, laptops, all that stuff. So having power was a necessity for me. All right, let's take a look at the other side here. The first thing you'll notice, other than our little dude here who's on the Wi-Fi, is we've got ourselves the AluCab 270 awning. This AluCab awning is rock solid from what I've seen. There's been crazy winds at the BCR even today and hasn't blown over, hasn't had any issues. It just has this one post and then you can strap it down, but you can see the panels and the arms are super beefy. So I think it's probably the best awning I've had. Don't have to worry about the gusts of wind taking it away, although you panic a little bit here and there. All right, so next up we have our JCR rear bumper. You can see over here, it's a swing out bumper. I'm just missing some jerry cans that are kind of coming, jerry can holders to go on there. So on this side, you can see we've got our 37-inch tire and our swing out table for making coffees on the trail. The next thing that everybody likes to notice is our Dickinson Marine stovepipe up here. Most people ask me, is that a wood stove? What's the deal with it? It's actually a propane stove. It comes from a marine application. GP Factor has made some modifications to it that allow you to put it into the AluCab, and it can get that tent super hot. We obviously don't need it today, something like 30 degrees already, but in the shoulder season it gets pretty cold here in BC, and that thing will keep you nice and warm. All right, so let's take a look on the inside here. So first things first, down here you can see that what we have is a no-co plug. We've got ourselves a propane input for the heater, and we've got ourselves a gravity-fed water from our massive water tank up here on the bulkhead. You can see, I don't actually know how much water's in there, but I've never even come close to running out. Up here we've got our Expedition Essentials propane holder with a Worthington propane tank. I've also got a small 5-pound Ignic growler that I use for the lava box stove. Okay, on the inside we've got our EcoFlow Glacier refrigerator. It's got this really cool ice maker feature that we've never used. We've got our last US bags hanging on the bulkhead. We've got 2 last US bags hanging on a GP Factor molly panel. Over here you can see that we've got our axe and our shovel on the GP Factor molly panel. Let's just show the GP Factor molly panel hanging out here. So what's really cool is that it kind of hangs out here. We can get to our first aid or any of our little items there in the last US bags. It's really hard to see based on the lighting right now, but we've also got our Dickinson Marine stove right here. And our Red Arc Manager 30 right there. Just take a look at the way that the electrical works. We've got the app here, and this thing is hooked up to the Red Arc Manager 30, and I can see basically how much solar I'm getting, how much water's in the water tanks, how much power we have. I can also control things like the reading lights or the cabin lights, and it makes it super easy to manage things. I can even turn on or off the inverter that powers the fridge. Okay, one of my favorite parts about the AluCab is the fact that the whole bed folds up. So we can sleep on top. That just is like a normal rooftop tent, but I folded up the bed behind the camera here. And so now I can use this whole space, you know, for changing or whatever else I need to. We've even got this little fold down piece here, which is partly how we get in and out of the bed when the bed's down, obviously. But at the same time, you can kind of fold it down, use this as a bit of a standing desk if you need to. And with a view like this, who wouldn't want to work out here? All right, there you have it. That's Nightfall. That's the build. Got a couple things left I want to do. Like I said, I'm waiting for the jerry can holders to go on the left swing arm. I'm getting the fog lights installed at Epic, ordered the wrong ones. And then I'm hopefully getting a trail rack to go over top of the Freedom panels so that I can throw the Starlink on top of that most of the time and strap it down. I still like having it in this Savage UTV Pelican case. It means I can take it out, move it away from camp if I need better access to the skies. But, you know, it works pretty good with that solar hookup. You know, we can run this thing all day long, stream live from pretty much anywhere. So I hope you enjoyed this overview of our 2023 build. And if you're not subscribed, if you're not following on YouTube or Instagram, help us out. Doesn't cost you anything. It means a lot to me. If you're ever looking to come out and adventure in BC, give me a shout. I don't give waypoints on the social, but I'm happy to always bring joiners out and find that high ground by nightfall. So we'll see you at the top.